A prestigious campus, the birthplace of scientists and world leaders, suddenly becomes the silent witness to a horrific crime. A brilliant student, with a bright future ahead, is found dead in a laboratory basement. What really happened behind the grand walls of Yale University? Welcome to the tragic story of Annie Ellie, the genius girl whose body was discovered on the day of her wedding. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Human Dark Side channel. Today, we will be discussing a case that shook the United States, and even the world, in 2009. This case involves a Yale University graduate student named Annie Ellie, who was found dead in a campus laboratory. This case is not just about a murder, but also about ambition, obsession, and the dark side of university life. Before we dive into the details of the case, let's get to know Annie Ellie. She was a graduate student at Yale University, one of the most prestigious universities in the world. Annie was known as an intelligent, ambitious, and passionate individual. She was studying pharmacology and had dreams of becoming a drug researcher. Annie was born on July 3, 1985, in San Jose, California. She came from a hard-working Vietnamese immigrant family that worked hard to provide the best education for their children. Annie was a high achiever from a young age. She always had excellent grades in school and was actively involved in various extracurricular activities. In 2005, Annie was accepted into the University of Rochester, where she earned her undergraduate degree in biology. After graduation, she decided to continue her studies at Yale University for her graduate program. At Yale, Annie was known as a diligent and dedicated student. She had good relationships with her peers and professors and was also involved in social activities, often volunteering for various organizations. On September 8, 2009, 24-year-old Annie was reported missing. She was seen entering the laboratory on Amistad Street around 10 a.m., but no cameras captured her leaving. Annie never appeared again. Her friends and colleagues started to worry and reported her missing to the police. The police immediately began an investigation. They checked CCTV footage around the campus and interviewed people who knew Annie. However, no clues led to Annie's whereabouts. A massive search was launched. The police, the university, and Annie's family worked together to find her. They searched every corner of the campus, including the laboratory's basement. 5 days later, on September 13, 2009, Annie's body was found in the basement of the laboratory. Her body was discovered at 5 p.m. on Sunday, hidden inside a wall space designed to conceal pipes and cables. The date that was supposed to be the happiest day turned out to be the most heartbreaking for Annie. Her fiancé, Jonathan Wadowski, could only helplessly face this bitter reality. An autopsy revealed that Annie had been strangled to death. This discovery shocked the world. How could a graduate student at such a prestigious university become the victim of murder on campus? The police immediately processed the crime scene. They found evidence pointing to a suspect, Raymond Clark III, a laboratory technician who worked in the same place as Annie. Raymond Clark III was eventually arrested and charged with Annie Lee's murder. The police found Raymond Clark DNA on Annie Lee's body. The motive behind the murder was believed to be personal revenge. During the trial, Raymond Clark III confessed to killing Annie Ellie. The most emotional moment came when Raymond Clark III spoke tearfully in court. I take full responsibility for my actions, Clark said, reading his statement in a soft and shaky voice. I am solely responsible for the death of Annie Lee and causing immense pain to all who loved and cared for her, he continued. I always tried to do the right thing and avoid problems, Clark said. But I failed. I took a life and kept lying about it while Annie's friends, family, and fiancé sat waiting. Clark continued, I never wanted to hurt anyone or cause emotional pain to anyone. All I wanted was to be a good child, a good brother, and a good fiancé, but again I failed. I only blame myself, and there's no excuse for what I've done, Clark said. Annie was and will always be an amazing person, far better than I will ever be. I apologize for lying, I apologize for ruining lives, and I apologize for taking Annie's life. Judge Roland Fasano of the Superior Court said, the suffering, the pain of the family is devastating. He stated that this guilty plea agreement was appropriate because of the substantial sentence and it spared Annie's family the emotional and painful court process. For the murder, Clark was sentenced to 44 years in prison. For attempted first-degree sexual assault, he was sentenced to 20 years, to be served concurrently, said Fasano. Clark remains incarcerated at the Cheshire Correctional Institution in New Haven County, Connecticut. The case of Annie Lee holds some shocking facts you might not know. Questionable campus security. This case revealed the weaknesses in the security system at Yale University. How could someone murder another person in a laboratory that should have been secure? Obsession and revenge. The motive behind the murder is believed to be strong personal obsession and revenge. Raymond Clark III was reportedly obsessed with Annie and felt resentful because Annie didn't reciprocate his feelings. Impact on the scientific community. This case had a profound impact on the scientific community. Many researchers and students felt unsafe in the laboratories where they worked. Cancelled wedding. Annie Lee was preparing for her wedding at the time. The wedding was cancelled due to the murder. Location of the body. Annie was found hidden inside the laboratory wall. The case of Annie Lee is a tragedy that reminds us that crime can happen anywhere, even in the safest places. May this case serve as a lesson for all of us to be more vigilant and caring for the people around us. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Human Dark Side channel for more interesting content. See you in the next video.